Everybody loves gossip.
There's a bunch of dicks in the industry, and there's a bunch of great people in the industry.
Yeah,
I think everybody knows that. But yeah, tell some stories.
You would completely destroy this room right now if you're like, well, I met Butch Walker, and he was a real piece of shit.
Welcome to the Beacon House Podcast, recorded live in Knoxville, Tennessee.
You know, I thought after Pennsylvania turned blue that everything was going to be okay. And then Kid Rock came on the radio today, and now I think that the world is still going to end.
By experience, just because something turns blue doesn't necessarily mean things are going to be okay.
Well, I mean,
take that for what you will.
Be better.
That's true.
I was hoping for better. I was hoping for less Kid Rock.
Cowboy.
We hope you get what you wanted.
Well, I think it was. I mean, even like when COVID started, everyone was talking about like the end of the world, and I was like, no, man, it's whatever. And then Creed came on the radio. I was like, now I get it. I was like, they're playing Creed on the radio again. I'm fucked,
dude.
That's funny because Hunter's a big
Creed was the bomb.
He's a legit
Phantoms.
Creed fan.
He has leather pants and a fishnet T-shirt.
He owns it. He carries it.
You are allowed to enjoy a thing and understand its flaws.
And when he sings, you can't understand the A's, the E's, the I's, or the U's.
They don't exist. Everything's in
the blues.
Everything's
or the blues. It's kind of like Hootie in the Blowfish.
Well, now that we've gotten that, Casey, are you okay? You seem worked up.
I'm just upset. Okay. I'm upset that this radio station forced me to listen to Kid Rock because I couldn't get Spotify turned on.
You couldn't turn the radio dial off.
That's what I was going to say.
I was hitting Bluetooth. I was like, stop it.
Oh, man.
I mean...
You got the dang diggy.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
It was bad.
Well, let's move on to better news now. We have a very special guest today.
Kid Rock?
No, I am definitely not Kid Rock.
Well, none of us can make that. To be fair, none of us are Kid Rock.
You can run for governor of Michigan if you want to. It's fine.
Did he really?
He's talking about it.
Well, that should clear things
We're
up.
trying to not put our guest in a box. Come on, Casey. If you want to do that, do it.
That's fair. You're right. Fuck me.
Guys, we're super excited today to have Chad Grennor on the podcast. A man that wears many hats. And I'm going to get into all of them. And
none of which are trucker hats.
Sure. Well, depending. You never know.
You never know.
There's could be a weird night. This man has been on tour.
The lighting
a lot
in
of
this
things
room
happen on tour, you know. Yes, Chad Grennor. Recently, when we first started talking about this, I ran into you and you talked about one of your many ventures, the Refill Coffee Cart, and we want to hear all about that. Also, he is a musician, a touring musician, and you just reminded me you do real estate.
Yeah.
Get into it, man. Tell us your story, bud. Get out there.
Well, so in my previous life, I was an engineer out in Oak Ridge. So trying to figure out how to replace that income with touring fundage, it requires you to do some other things. So got a real estate license, and I can do that from the road. And I started this coffee company with a couple partners, and that's also fun because I'm not actually the one out there slinging the coffee, but we designed this company to be mobile and like just show up in office parks, and like you can come in and set up in the lobby and serve lattes. It's great. All of these things.
How did you get into that? Like, I mean, I'm also a musician and I'm super into coffee and like.
Yeah, man, I know you're into coffee.
I may talk about it a little
bit, you know.
I get excited. That's what coffee does.
The only tattoo he has is a coffee bean, and it's right inside his left ass cheek.
Casey, I don't have any tattoos.
Sure. Sure.
So anyway, I'm not sure what you saw, but maybe you should go look again.
We can get you a mirror later.
Yeah, thanks. But no, I'm super into coffee too, and I've always thought like, man, that would be a fun business to work in. What's funny is the way I met both of these two guys. They were baristas in West Knoxville over at Joe Muggs, and they made phenomenal. But coffee's always been real central to like whatever we do, or we all seem to gather around it. But how did you guys like tell us a little bit more about how that came to be? You know,
well, kind of the same thing for me. Coffee was important for conversation. Coffee was important for bringing friends together, and when they approached. My two partners approached me. They said, well, you know, coffee means a whole lot for our relationship. They met in a coffee shop. They were thinking about starting a business, but they had no idea how to go about it. So they recruited me to do the business end of things. And the design of the actual cart, which I'm going to fold in touring here, the cart is literally a road case.
That's amazing.
It's literally a road case.
I love it.
It's made to go in and out of the truck. You know, you can beat it up and it's fine. It's fine.
That's awesome. Yeah.
So, just bringing people together. That's what Refill is supposed to be. Brought us together, and then we wanted to bring the coffee to the other folks, right? And our main target is like private events right now, because we can't be out in public because of the whole COVID deal. So we've had to like think on our feet, redo our business model, and figure out how to survive, basically.
Yeah, I've heard that that's so many people that we've talked to. Will from Central Depot,
right?
Everybody has had to just like reinvent their whole business just to stay afloat this year. It's crazy.
We've recently had another couple on that loves coffee, and they do like something similar.
It's very similar. They were actually, I'm going to cut you off there.
No, you're fine.
No, sorry, man. That's what started us, actually.
Okay.
My partners were friends with them as well. They were trying to get involved in their business, and they said, well, why don't you just buy part of the business and just do your own thing?
Awesome.
So that's what we did. They set us up to succeed. So.
Q.
Yeah, and I think more transported coffee shops in Knoxville for the better.
All the time.
Always.
Well, everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
But
Like just the fact that you can pop up anywhere is wonderful to me.
Well, it kind of takes the whole food truck, that whole segment, and moves it into like the coffee business.
Yeah.
And so you've got people. I don't know, dude. I think like there's people. Every office every day is sending somebody for coffee. Like there's somebody in drive-thru at Starbucks that's ordering for like 9 people back at the hospital or back at the office or wherever.
Right. Or there's the crappy break room coffee. You know, like it's mud in a.
It's terrible.
It's awful.
Don't say that to Mud.
It's terrible.
Mud's better than that.
Yeah, but
How dare you offend Mud?
We'll all still drink it, though.
That's true.
When it's the last thing left, we're all
Dude,
just like
I don't know. I've
pouring
had some
that
where I was
sludge.
like, this is actually worse than no coffee.
Dude, you know what
Yeah.
we have back at the bookstore since Joe Muggs is dead?
What?
Mud water.
Shit, I don't know,
Oh,
dude.
yeah.
But that's the idea. If there's this place set up right in the lobby or in the parking lot or whatever, you're not going to go to Starbucks.
Right.
You're going to go there and you'll save a ton of time. It's going to be super convenient. I
You're
love
helping
it.
a
It's more
small
productive
business.
for the employees, you know, everything.
And this is something we had a guy on one of our live events, Jason from Geezer's Brewery, and we were kind of talking about that. Like, how do you feel about being part of a community, but where there's a lot of competition or maybe supposed competition? Even though you're not necessarily competing, but like, is it weird to be friends with these other people that are also doing what you do? And he said the coolest thing, and I know I've said this a million times on here, but he said, look, man, rising tides raise all ships. And so the coffee culture or the brewery culture and all that, and I know, speaking of brewery, I know I've seen you out at Elst several times. You know,
yeah.
But like, it's good for everybody. When things get better, they get better all over. It doesn't have to be this cutthroat thing. Like Pedal Java can have part of the success. You guys can have part of the success. Like, I think it makes it better, you know?
It grows the appetite for that business model in the first place. People seek it out, and then whichever
for sure.
one of you is up, then that person goes.
Well,
It's great.
and one
It's fantastic.
place you can't be everywhere at once.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, so you're going to be like, maybe they're across town one day, and you guys you could just like fill in all the segments. But everybody's going to drink tons of coffee every day. I think that's rad. So,
Thanks, man.
Do you guys have anything like? Well, I guess you have a schedule. Where can people go to find out your schedule? Tell us everybody where they can find out where you guys are going to be so they can come and try it out.
Sure, yeah. Anytime we're in public where the public can just walk up, it'll be on our calendar on our website, refillcoffeecart.com. But most of the stuff that we've been doing the past few months has been private events, just catered things.
Sure.
And so we love being out in public, but
There's not much of that. I know. Yeah. I get it. I totally get it. Assuming that one day things get back to normal, you know, but who freaking knows? Speaking of that, like you also are a touring musician.
Oh yeah.
And this is not exactly the
it's not the time for touring.
Yeah, man.
We'll say that. It's
talk
not
a little bit about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, it's been like we had a new record this year. We were ready to go. Like we were booked for pretty much all of 2020, and then as March approached, our hopes and dreams kind of just got smashed, right? Like everything got canceled and postponed and shifted around, and we haven't been on the road since January. And so we went ahead with the album release, and I think it's
And we're talking about 10 years, by the way. If anyone knows that
sorry.
Chad plays in 10 years. I thought we should have probably said at the top of the episode.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Yeah. Probably the most notable band ever out of Knoxville, you know.
Agreed.
Well, they recruited me to be their touring bass player in 2018, and that's what led me to leave my engineering job and do all this other stuff. So they really were the jump start for me to become who I was supposed to be, I think. So that's really neat. Forever grateful for those guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, this year's been a little lonely about not being on the road. Yeah, we've done one virtual show.
How'd that go?
Which I saw it. It was awesome.
Yeah, thanks, man. It was really strange, like playing to an empty room, but still got to have fun with my friends and play music, so it was great.
And I gotta say, Violent Allies. Yeah, I listened to that a ton when you guys first dropped it as like this is our next big hit, and I was just like, play.
Oh, the
repeat,
record's
repeat.
fantastic. It's fantastic,
especially in these times. Like like the message was very on point. I loved it.
The entire record is eerily on point with what is happening in the world right now, and
that's true.
It's so nuts, but most of it was written like well before the pandemic, and like I guess it's a happy accident, but
the record is it's big, and that's another. I think I love that about 10 years is it continues to grow.
Yeah,
it's not just one band doing the same album 38 times. Yeah. It evolves, and there's like a new thing each time, and like that's really really cool.
Yeah, and on this one, I think Matt and Jesse and Brian all really got together and collectively made a record instead of one person over here going this direction, one person going that direction. They all had a really cool vision, and it really worked.
Indeed.
I'd just like to get to play it live one day.
Yeah.
And is there any, I know you said that a tour that you guys had planned for last spring is now still in the books, but not until next fall.
Yeah, like it's...
So from spring of 2020 to fall of 2021.
That's what we're looking at across the industry, man. Like, it just shut down.
And I heard the same thing about the University of Tennessee. They were talking, because I have a lot of the students that work for me, and like they're always wondering what's going to happen in the spring? Is it going to open up classes? Are more people going to be here? They're going to stay home and do classes virtually? And everybody's saying that UT's kind of going to open up a little in the spring, but not really. It's going to be next fall.
Yeah.
They think it's going to be fall of 2021 before.
And there's word that there's going to be by January, February timeframe, people are going to be back at their houses again.
Yeah, we'll see.
I mean, that's the word.
Yeah,
I don't really see that happen. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Who knows? At this point, who can tell?
Yeah, that's the summary. No one actually knows.
Yeah.
And
I think you have to remember that because a lot of people go, "Well, it's going to be this. It's going to be this." We've never really been through this, at least not in my lifetime.
Right. Well, within our lifetime.
I will say, working in the hotel industry, the insane thing was when around March timeframe, the first one to go was Big Ears. And Big Ears like, we're canceling. And then after that, for like 24 hours straight, it was just like one after the other. It was like Big Ears, Fanboy, this festival, that festival, this, concert, that concert, this tour, that tour. People were calling the hotel, canceling in droves. And we had to make a whole system to keep track of who was canceling for COVID and who wasn't and things like that. And it's just weird overnight. Like, one day we were sitting there talking about Big Ears. The next day we were scrambling, trying to figure out how, to get back this money that we just lost. And then we just lost, tens of thousands of dollars. And it's insane.
With our band, Burn the City, and this is completely different because you're used to touring. You guys have been touring. But just in that similar vein, we had been writing and putting the songs together for 2 years. And we finally were like, we have it. They're good. Let's figure out the set. So we spent like 2 months working on the set and like getting timing and just all that kind of stuff down. We were like, we're ready to gig. And then like it seems like the next week everything went just right down the pooper.
Yeah, and it's all, you're just kind of like, so we just come here once a week and rehearse, and we just like try to, and we've actually had a guitarist, Dylan, shout out, who's been out.
Dylan.
He's been out for like months because he broke his arm.
Collarbone in 5 places.
Jesus Christ.
We love you, buddy.
Did you find out why yet?
He's a strong guitar player. No. He's like a real battle axe.
Maybe that's what it was.
I can imagine playing too hard.
I can imagine him picking it up. Oh, there it goes again. He's going to have to really ease back into it. He's awesome. But so you said that you started doing real estate because you could do it out on the road.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Yeah, I didn't know you could. That's
well, I mean,
freaking awesome.
Yeah. Digital signatures and everything. Like, you can have someone go show a house for you. You can do the listing from your laptop wherever you are.
Never would have thought of that.
It's great. I don't spend as much time on the real estate as I probably should. I'm fortunate to have a few clients here and there throughout the year to just keep my license active.
Yeah.
But because we were going to be on the road, I on purpose dwindled my client list. Like, I was like, oh, I'm going to go focus on the touring, and like, okay. and then no tour this year. And then it's like, okay, well, I have to redo all of my outreach, all of my trying to acquire new clients, new customers. And yeah, I'm slowly getting there.
Well, you heard it here. If you're looking to buy, get in touch with Chad Grennor, our buddy.
And that's why I was wanting to know, is it a good time to buy? Because literally in the next 4 to 6 months, I'm looking to buy a house.
Oh, shit, that's a good question, because I've heard both. I've heard people go, oh, you don't want to buy a house during the pandemic. And then they go, no, this is the time to buy. What do you think?
Well, when do you need a house? That's when it's the right time to buy, right?
Yeah. Well, right now I'm in the process of trying to figure out how much I can put into it. Like, I'm going to go to my bank and see what kind of mortgage.
Yeah, and that's the right move.
And some people told me lenders are probably better than banks, because lenders, like, the interest rate will be lower.
Depends on your bank.
Okay.
Yeah. But the goal is, like, figure out how much you can spend or how much you want to spend, right? And that'll tell you the price point. And in Knoxville, there are different price points that are going faster than others.
Okay.
So having that letter in your hand is going to make your offer when you offer on the house, it's going to be strong, because they're like, yeah, you can actually get the money.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I would say right now is a great time to sell. Right now is also a great time to buy. Why not?
Yeah. All right.
Kudos to you, though, because it feels so obvious now when we were talking about all the different things that you do, but having finally gotten to this third section of it, what I'm hearing is over and over again this year, you had a set like priority list and the way things were going to work, and had to bounce like a full 180 backwards and figure it all out, by the seat of your pants all over again. And you're still doing it. Like,
well, that's correct. Thanks for noticing that. Like I guess the summary of what I would like to say about it is just, you need to be ready all the time.
Oh, yeah. Good advice. Such good advice.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's real easy to get kind of, a lot of people have, so not to disparage anybody that's struggled, but just this year has been so awful, right? And like, it's so easy to just get consumed by that instead of looking forward and going, I don't know what's next, but this is what I have, so we're going to figure out something to do. When you mentioned the virtual show, I went into full panic mode because of our band not being able to tour, and then it was like a month or two later, and we haven't done one yet, but the guys were like, we'll just do one from in the room or
just
something.
Live stream.
Live stream it.
Why not?
At this point, anything's better than nothing.
Exactly.
We're getting to that point where it's like, look,
but that's the right attitude.
Yeah,
and that's
people are realizing you
vital.
can't just sit on your hands. Like, at first, we were all just kind of like, and I'm super guilty. Like, at first, I actually enjoyed it.
Yeah,
like,
you just watched Mandalorian over and over again.
I was so I was working freaking like 65 hours a week at the restaurant. I was on every single time I had off. I was doing cables. I mean, I was crazy, and I was just like, I got to stay busy. So when it finally hit, like, and I was just sitting at home, and I was like, I'm gonna binge a show. I haven't watched a show in like a year, like except little bits, and I was like, I'm just gonna sit here and watch How I Met Your Mother or whatever, and it was awesome. And
That's great.
I got real lazy for a minute, and then finally things started kind of get rolling again, and the world didn't end, but it just got weird, and so we masked up and prepared up and started, sanitizing everything, washing hands like crazy, and just started kind of getting back into the world. But for a minute there, I was like, "Oh, this is not so bad." But then we're like, "Wait a minute, we got to get things moving."
Did you hear that someone they took this like survey of the world? I think it was the United States. Anyways, they're talking about the vaccine, and only like 48% of the people said that they would just absolutely go and get the vaccine.
Yeah,
48% said that they would absolutely go get the vaccine without any questions. Give it to me. Got it. The other 52% was just like, I mean, it was broken up into different aspects. Like, I want to see the results of the 48. Like, I want to see this. And some people were just flat out like, I'll never get the vaccine ever.
Let me ask you, where did you see that? Was it social media or something?
It was on Reddit. It was a news article on Reddit.
Man, I'll tell you this. I've heard both things. I've heard people say that they are very against vaccines, and not necessarily anti-vaxxers, but people that are just like
against this vaccine.
Well, they're just skeptical of certain vaccines because they don't test well, and over time.
Sure.
And other people are just like, yeah, give it to me. Man, I would advise anybody to maybe check with your. I think what's more important than that, like being on Facebook trying to decide if you want to take a vaccine or not.
I'll take it.
Is get a doctor you trust if you don't have a doctor who you trust now, I think that's more important than waiting on a vaccine. Mm-hmm. Get a doctor who you can go to and go, hey, should I get this? What do you think? And then I would recommend everybody to go to the experts and see,
I take anything like that with a grain of salt, of course.
Well,
but
you got to kind of consider all the information. I think if you just read 2 or 3 memes and get mad and go out into the world, you're asking for it.
I feel like that is 2020. I read this meme and it made me mad.
Yeah.
You got to kind of look at everything and just figure out. But like I said, if you don't have an expert, like I am in my old age, I have finally gotten a mechanic that I trust. I have a doctor that I like. I've got a
AC repairman you trust.
I got an AC repairman that story. I love him. Fucking Rick Freer. But
toss it in the trash.
Yeah, man, at some point you just got to it helps to have a network of people that you trust that you can go to. So I would say with a vaccine, go to your doctor and see what they think. Well,
it just baffles me that there's less than half of the population, or more than half of the population by a fraction, but still more of the population. It's just I don't know, maybe.
That is scary, but the other thing to remember, because I'm super guilty of this too, because you see the percentile and you just absorb it.
You're absolutely right. That's the story of I Am Legend. So yeah, you don't want to turn into a vampire. No, I get it. I get where you're going with that.
I'd be okay with being Will Smith before Jada did what she did, but...
Oh God! Don't.
Sorry,
man.
We had to
guys.
Dude, we had to watch him be upset. Nobody wanted. That's a Fresh Prince.
That's like
man.
watching.
That was 7 pounds, Spencer. That's a movie.
Watching somebody kick a puppy. That's horrible.
Like watching your dad cry. It's just no one wants to watch your dad cry.
My dad didn't get in the bathtub with
no one
a jellyfish.
wants to watch their dad cry, and that's what it was like watching Will Smith cry on national television.
Will Smith is my father.
It was pretty bad. I could tell that about you.
You call him Uncle Phil?
Just because it pisses him off.
Okay.
Anyway, so Chad, what else has been going on? You've got the real estate gig. You've been making the best of it. You're doing refill coffee cart. Is there? Jesus Christ, how much can one guy? Do you sleep? Do you ever get any sleep?
I try to sleep. I have really bad dreams all the time, so I honestly don't like sleeping. But
do you have? If you don't mind me asking, do you have sleep paralysis or any of that stuff?
Not the paralysis bit. No,
okay. We've had people on that talked about that, and then they see things and it's crazy. Anytime somebody mentions having any kind of sleep issues, I always go, "Did you see anything? Did you see?"
Because I want to know
a figure.
Spencer cares about you, but he also did you see cool shit though?
Well, everybody sees the same stuff. That's the crazy part.
Spencer wants to know: did you see him in your house?
Did you notice me in the corner?
Did you see me
I was there,
reaching for that carrot cake.
You said you had a nightmare the other night. What did you see? I saw this evil lady. Oh, good. All right.
Good.
It wasn't me.
But have you ever seen anything weird, or you just have night terrors and stuff?
No, just weird stuff. Night terrors up here.
I got it. We've talked to several people in here that had that, and that's I don't know, man. How do you manage that? You just try to hope that it doesn't happen that night, or
pretty much. You just hope it doesn't happen,
or refill coffee cart.
Yeah, or just drink all the coffee and then not sleep.
Damn right. That's me. Mm-hmm. I'll load up on coffee to get through the last couple hours at work, and then I'm at home trying to go to bed, and I'm like, okay, maybe overdid it a little bit there. Time to stay up and Google weird guitar equipment,
Yep.
I always wonder what it's like to be a musician. It's hell.
It's hell.
I work with a musician, and every time I come around the front desk and he's on the computer, he's always just on Craigslist looking at gear,
man.
That's
what you're doing.
And I'm like, oh my gosh. And everything's $300 or $400. He's like, oh, it's a really nice piece of equipment right there. And I'm like, I guess. Dude, I don't know. I'm not musically inclined, so
being a singer is great.
It transcends. Yeah, being a musician is a sickness. It's a sickness, man.
Which is weird because that's what you guys go and you look at equipment and buy equipment.
It's the minutia. It's that last 10%.
My love is movies, so I go to the movie theater and just spend stupid amounts of money on movies that you guys would never even be interested. You're like, I don't want to see that movie. That movie looks like garbage. I'm like,
well, imagine if you were an avid moviegoer and you could maybe 10% of the movie just wasn't the way you wanted it, and you knew if you could figure that out, it would be perfect.
So you got Final Cut and a really good camera.
And you start spending money on all this stuff to augment the movie, to make the movie better, to get that last little bit of your inflection.
That's funny. That's how I feel.
And nobody else in the room would even notice if it's better.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Dude, you know what I started doing?
Real.
Seriously.
Yeah. Dude, I know.
What I started doing, I became so aware of that I was tinkering with stuff that nobody gave a shit about, that before if I had a new cable idea or something like that, I would come down here and I would get a bunch of people like this who don't care, And I would just go, just stand over there and tell me if you can hear a difference in this. And then I'm going to put this other thing here. Just don't worry about what it is. Just tell me. And if they said, oh, yeah, I can hear that, then I knew I was on to something. When people that didn't care could hear it, then I would go, okay, I got it. Like,
I will say, though, going back to what you said about me in movies, like watching a movie or watching something and being like, if I could fix that. And then
what if you could change the ending by...
What if I could change how it looked or how it, how it turned out if I had
sound.
And that's exactly how I feel about Demons, the music video that we made. Because I watch it and I go, oh, there's so much I would fix about this because I did it so bad. And I'm so...
I tell you what, man, being a musician, as far as your gear, is terrible because you're comparing the sound, the way you compare the way your gear sounds to the way your favorite albums sound. Mm-hmm. And the album is a whole other kettle of fish. Like the album was possibly a guitar in a room with a mic or a couple mics, but then it went through like a crazy set of preamps into a mixer, into another room, and then it was mastered by a guy, and then it was EQ'd and all this stuff, and it didn't sound anything like the guitar source that was originally there. But you compare your albums and you chase that your whole life. But I don't begrudge. I love it. I love it. It's chasing the dragon, but it's my favorite dragon to chase. That's why I make those cables, because there's something wrong with like the signal. There it is. It's just not right.
I can't hear it.
I loved that rant. That was nice.
Dude, I'm so into it. I tell you what, in this room, before I ever sold a cable to anybody or sent one to a producer or anybody, I burned myself in this room for so many years with soldering irons.
Casey's
New System of a Down.
Oh, right.
Oh, I haven't heard it. I didn't hear it
to you.
I know. I didn't hear it.
I haven't heard it yet
System
either.
of a Down.
Is it so good?
I enjoy it.
Back in the day when I was very, very first getting to know the young lads in 10 years, System of a Down was huge, and we were all like real into them.
I used to love
the Prince Deli days, if you will.
System of a Down,
Prince Deli.
Coheed. Oh man, I still listen to that. Bush,
bro. Coheed did Jesse's Girl 2 this year with Rick Springfield.
Yeah.
That's your favorite thing that's happened this year.
That blew me. I was so happy about
Bush came out with a new CD this year.
What? Did they?
Yeah, it's actually...
Is this
Kingdom.
a joke?
No, it's called Kingdom.
You look like you're about to tell
It's
a
pretty
joke.
good. No, it's got...
pull it up.
Is it real?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is... There's the first single is awesome.
I think Gavin broke up with whoever he was dating and made a CD about it.
Oh, that's the best. Breakup CDs.
I don't.
It's his ex-wife. He's referencing his ex-wife.
My favorite Coheed record, it was the fourth one, and it was like a big, very tumultuous breakup.
Good Apollo and Burning Star.
Yeah.
That one.
Bush, The Kingdom.
Oh shit, I didn't know. Okay.
Yeah.
What do you been listening to, man? You have wide musical taste. Anything good lately?
Honestly, the past 3 months, I've just been Run the Jewels and Outkast. That's fine.
I was listening to Run the Jewels yesterday, and this man right here is the one that turned me on to him. And
he pointed at Casey.
Freaking man, dude, they are super good.
Yeah, we're driving in your van, I think, going to Frightmare Manor, and I was like, "You heard Run the Jewels?" And you're like, "People in my work listen to them sometimes." And I went, Give me your Spotify. I'm about to open your eyes to some good
hip hop
and rap.
It was super, and I've always loved Outkast. I've been on Outkast since way back.
I mean, you saw what I drove up in.
Yeah, so I listened to Run the Jewels like crazy, but then I also just recently discovered Kendrick Lamar for the first time, which everyone thinks is insane. They're like, "You're just now listening to Kendrick Lamar."
Dude,
I'm like,
he's great.
I'm like, sorry. DNA is. I love that song.
Indeed.
The video's great.
Yeah, I love the video with Don
fantastic.
Cheadle.
Yeah.
Speaking, bringing it back to Bush. Mm-hmm. Did you know that Hunter here has a machine head? It's better than the rest.
Wow.
We did a few shows with Bush last year.
Really?
Yeah.
How was it?
It was awesome.
I've always wanted to meet Gavin.
Have you?
Yeah.
Did you guys meet him?
Yeah, super nice dude.
Super cool.
He seems like he would be.
Like down to earth, not like, I've been here since the 90s. Like he's actually just real chill.
Just a chill guy.
Awesome.
Dude, his lyrics make me seem
happy.
like he would want to just be peaceable around anybody he was around.
You never know, man. I met Cliff from Cheers, or the guy that does all the voices in Pixar movies. He always has one character he does.
Yeah.
And I thought, this dude not really making money, just
because
doing
you see
it
a
for
lot of famous people at the hotel.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
and I'm
fair.
like, this dude's, he's seems like he's down to earth and chill. And when I met him, I was like, oh man, it's really nice to meet you. Like, can I get a picture? And he was just like, that'd be $15. And I was like, oh shit, you're okay, got it.
Dude, since that's let's talk about that for a minute. Since who are some other really cool people you've met touring that you just thought maybe didn't know how it was going to go, and then you turned out you loved, or if you want to divulge somebody you met that maybe wasn't so nice.
Look at that smile Spencer wants
Well,
you to
I don't
dish.
know. I mean,
I
I can't ask the guy to just
everybody loves gossip.
There's
Yeah.
a bunch of dicks in the industry, and there's a bunch of great people in the industry.
Yeah,
I think everybody
yeah.
knows that. But yeah, tell some stories, man.
You would completely destroy this room right now if you're like, well, I met Butch Walker and he was a real piece of shit.
Met Butch Walker. We know he's not. I know him. He's not a piece of shit. Don't
Work for
worry,
you.
we're safe from that. He's a good guy.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, go on, man. Tell some stories.
One of the, I guess, a weird kind of sad story. One of our guitar techs, Patrick King, he was Vinnie Paul's drum tech. Oh, okay. Yeah. So,
whoa.
Right? So we were playing this radio festival in Dallas, and Vinnie shows up. So Vinnie's there, brought his own like bus to the thing to where the buses park. And we're hanging out in the like VIP lounge or whatever bar thing at the arena, and next week he was gone.
Jesus.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
God.
It was that close to the end. It was, yeah.
That's insane. I remember another friend of mine was on a plane with Dave Brocky that was odorous from Guar, and he was literally sitting right next to him on a flight, I think transatlantic or something like that. And this was like a week before he died. So spin us some more tour yarns.
Oh man,
We've only been here in this room for 2 years.
I think the last like stories like this that we've gotten were from Sean Ireland, and it was all about piping up. So
Bonnaroo, yeah.
Yeah.
Have you seen anybody that just blew you the fuck away? Like you were just, I mean, you kind of knew, but then like when you were seeing them right there from the side of the stage, you were just like, whoa.
I mean, Mastodon's always great for me. We did the Exit 111 festival on the
I knew a whole
grounds.
bunch of people that were at that.
Yeah, it was pretty rad. I got to be side stage for ZZ Top. Like,
Oh, dude, nice.
Okay, I'm standing there, side stage, watching ZZ Top come out, right next to Al from Ministry.
Jorgensen.
And I'm
oh
like,
my God.
oh boy, what is this world that I'm living in right now?
That's incredible.
Yeah,
That's incredible.
those were fun times.
So, well, thanks to members of 10 years, I've gotten to go places and see things that, for all practical means, shouldn't have happened, like the Deftones. And one of my favorite singers is Palumbo from Glassjaw, also Head Automatica. A lot of people don't remember Head Automatica, but they were huge for me, at least that first record. And so one time we all went to Nashville, and Deftones were playing, Glassjaw was opening, and we got to go right in and go side stage, and like we watched Glassjaw, and then they came out, and then Palumbo stood with us to watch the entire Deftones set, and I had the same. I was just like, whoa, this is surreal. But usually you find just like really, really great guys, all in the business, just doing their thing, touring, and like there's not a whole lot of dildos, I think, but
you mentioned ZZ Top, and I was curious. Whenever you met him or them, did you ask them if they ever did find that tush?
Oh man.
Casey.
that was flat.
It was flat.
I was just that was flat. No. Just stop. I was thinking about like what it was like to be that close to Billy Gibbons. Like I feel like if I was within 100 feet of Billy Gibbons, I would have a heart attack or something.
Well, that was actually the second time I was within 100 feet of Billy Gibbons.
Holy shit, you're holding up very well.
So yeah, I know, right?
I would not have made it this far if I was around Billy Gibbons. Billy Gibbons is the proliferator of ZZ Top, if you guys don't know, and one of the most respected guitarists / songwriters / musicians ever.
Yeah.
A lot of people consider him the godfather of electric guitar as far as tone goes, maybe not necessarily performance, but that too, kind of. But if you've ever heard ZZ Top ever, that's the sound of Billy Gibbons, and it's insanity. People have been studying it for like years and years and years. How did he play with a peso? Somebody said he played with like a actual peso, and like there's just all these different things. But
back to tone chasing, right?
He's one of the patriarchal guys that you look. Him and Stevie Ray Vaughan are two of the people that people just go, how did they get that sound? And Van Halen, of course.
It sounds like you got thrown right into the deep end though, because this started. You said in 2018?
Yeah, I sure did, man. And that first time I was in the presence of Billy Gibbons was on that very first tour of 10 years.
Wow.
So I'm like, we're in LA, we're playing at the Roxy.
Which is insanity,
So we're right next door to the Rainbow.
Which is insanity.
Got to go to the Rainbow.
Of course.
We go to the Rainbow, and best cheese sticks ever.
I've heard best steak ever too.
Yeah.
They say the Rainbow has phenomenal food.
Phenomenal
nachos.
Yeah.
I've heard. Is that right? think so.
I didn't have the nachos.
There's a documentary about the Rainbow right now.
Oh, absolutely. Watch that. It's great.
It's so great. The guy that was the owner of the Rainbow, like talks about kicking Charles Manson out.
Yeah.
Oh, it's fun. I think you can watch it on Prime right now.
It's on Prime, yeah.
It's a Rainbow documentary. You got to watch it. It's insane.
Really?
It's everything about Hollywood and rock and roll, starting from the 60s going up to like now, especially the 80s. And it's where they shot a lot of those scenes from The Dirt.
Yeah.
In the Red Lounge. That was actually the Rainbow.
So that was your first tour, though, was L.A., Roxy, Rainbow, and all this.
Yeah.
With them.
So it was nuts. And we also did
badass.
like Western Canada. And, like, it was crazy. But yeah, I'm sitting at the bar at the Rainbow with that same guitar tech, Patrick. And this guy comes up to my left, on the left side of me, sits down, asks for a brown ale. I kind of look at him, I'm like, oh shit, okay. So like nudge my guitar tech, Patrick, like, yo, Texas dude, take a look on the other side of me, buddy. And he's like, holy shit, that's Billy Gibbons. I'm like, yes, that's Billy Gibbons. Why don't you talk to him?
Amazing. Amazing. Yeah, I've talked to a lot of people that went in there and sat down and just ordered a beer, and then right next to him was like Lemmy.
Yeah.
Like Lemmy was always at the end of the bar, and he would talk to anybody. They said he was super friendly, or Dave Grohl's in there all the time, or just a normal thing. If you look, that's where they go. That's where they hang out. So it's great. But that stuff is like hallowed ground to me. Like that's definitely on my bucket list to visit. I've actually never been to LA. I send cables to LA, several different places on Sunset Boulevard, East West Studios. They use them on everything there, and then Santa Monica for Butch and just all these people. But I've never actually been there, so I plan on going to California and at least
You gotta stop at the Rainbow.
Oh, dude,
Yeah.
I'll lay down and kiss the carpet in the Rainbow.
Yeah.
Like,
I wouldn't.
I don't know about
Oh,
that.
I'll
know
do
about
it.
that.
I'll do it. It was such a big part of like everything I was into.
Spencer will
growing
come back
up.
with a cold sore.
And I'll be so proud of it. I'll never want to get rid of it. I'll keep rubbing dirt on it.
What'll you name it?
The Rainbow.
Lemmy.
Naturally.
I'll name it Lemmy. He had a thing. Well, whatever.
Spencer.
I thought it was like up here.
Spencer.
It was, and it was a mole, and it was badass because he was badass. But fucking A. Well, dude, thank you so much for coming in today. We're getting close to our time here.
Yeah, man.
But shit, dude,
Thanks for having me.
Well, thank you very much. And we want to tell everybody out there, let's list off all the things. Check out Chad Grennor Realty. Is that the name of it? Is that what you call it?
So you can find all of my stuff at chadgrennor.com. Boom. There's the hub. And you can get to my real estate stuff there. You can get to the coffee stuff there. You can get to my solo stuff there. You can get to 10 years and all the other things.
Well, do it. So, yeah, you guys know you're not doing anything right now. It's the pandemic. You're sitting around Googling shit. Go to chadgrennor.com and check it all out. And then if you need coffee, go find where Refill's going to be. And obviously, listen to the 10 Years record and wait for them to be playing somewhere again and check them out. And all if you get a chance to see a virtual concert,
do it.
Freaking log in and do it, man, because you guys are phenomenal.
Thanks.
Have always been phenomenal. Devastating live band. And I remember I was thinking this when I asked you a minute ago when I said, did you see anybody that just blew you away? Like, I feel like a lot of people out on the road feel that way about you guys. I really, really do, because you guys always deliver, and you deliver big. And that's what I knew about the guys first on. Like, I remember when I very first saw them at the Ramada Inn, and I was like, damn. Like, they just had a way. They just did it harder, better. They did it with more heart, and it was just it was so freaking real. And I remember I went to a guy I was playing in a band with at the time, and I said, "Hey, I just saw this band 10 Years, and they're really young, but like I think they're going to be a big deal. They've only done one gig, and it was a Ramada Inn, but I was like, they're just something about them." And he goes, "Well, we'll see, But it's been that way ever since, like from day one until like the most recent stream concert. Like 10 Years fucking delivers. And they deserve your support, so go give them your support. Check out chadgrennor.com. And even during this episode, you've heard us talk relentlessly about the band that Hunter and I are in called Burn the City, and Casey did a video called Demons for us. Hunter did a lyric video, or like an anime video for
Perfect Design.
For our song Perfect Design. Those are both on YouTube. You can check them out now. But we're going to actually do an episode next week that actually talks about the band, how we met, how we got everything. We're going to play 3 songs, which are already on Spotify. Spoiler, you can go listen to them. And Casey's involvement doing video production for us and all that kind of stuff. So it'll be kind of a bonus episode, but we're going to take a break from a lot of stuff and edit it. So if you guys are into it, if you want to hear some stuff, you want to hear the kind of music we're doing, check it out next week on Beacon House.
Why couldn't Husky have killed Kid Rock fans instead of prostitutes?
Cowboy.
Oh, my.